I hope this is going well. I can't see anyone. I need to put comments on the stage. My mic isn't in. Wow. I really let everything go downhill today. Why did I decide to do this earlier? I think because I thought I would be less tired. And yet, I'm not. So, I hope this is going okay. See anyone? Oh, hi Caleb. Okay, hopefully this sets me up close enough. Hello, Jonathan. Okay. How's everyone doing? How do people feel about being half an hour early? Thank you for remembering. I'm going to see how long I want to go for, honestly. Mostly I wanted to make sure that I had 2 hours to make sure that I got something done of substance, and something that we can test fonts with, ideally, but I don't really have an idea. Ooh. As long as I can't hear you vacuuming from here, then we'll see how it's going. Ooh, you're right at the gate. Oh, at the right gate. I assumed that you would be going faster, and then it sounds like you maybe have a little bit more time. So that's fun. I hope everyone likes the thumbnail, by the way. I was quite pleased with that. I am going to get started because we're 2 minutes in, and so obviously everyone who should be here is here. I don't know. I half expected no one to show up, so I'm glad some people are here. I'm gonna do like a little poll. So, do you want me to read the whole story? Oh, not a Q&A. I mean, to be honest, there's so few of you here, you might as well just say in chat. Do you want me to read the story out for you from start to finish, or shall I kind of just get on with it? Because there's a whole story in which this is like a meta text, which maybe isn't the ideal translation text. Yeah, I'll read it as I go. And this first bit doesn't have the frogs in, so I'm gonna go speedy. So the first, I haven't opened Lexicgy yet. The first thing I wanted to think about was the name. So the name I have put in Mandarin, which is what we basically use in, you could call it sinology. Calling it sinology sounds very Victorian to me. But basically in the study of Chinese, like classical Chinese texts. So, thanks, Miles. Okay, I would be happy to do orthography as I go, as long as you're okay. I'll have to switch into, I think, gimp, which sounds funny as a phrase to have said aloud. But yeah. So, should I do a phonetic learn of the name? I feel like, I should explain also. So, this line here is, it looks like leggy, or at least I thought it was leggy. I think really I wanted it to be leggy, but it's leg. So this is James' leg, I think. And this is Zipperin's translation. So, no, I got that wrong. This is Zipperin. I was like, so the Victorian guy said, Gongzi Mao leans to big breathe. He did not. Gongsun. So yeah, this was not correct. It's not like I thought at one point maybe it was a creative translation because one meaning of zi is like son, like child, and I was like, oh, maybe this is like a phonetic thing. And then I kind of looked further up in the text, and you have two people. One of them is called Gong Song Long, and this guy here, which is translated as Mo of Wei, you get his personal name here. And so I think what happened was the first guy being called Gongsun made him think that this guy was also called Gongsun, which he's not. You haven't missed much, Jonathan. But I was asking. No, I decided. I'm going to do a phonetic learn of this person's name, which then means I guess I should probably just do it in the modern. So, but I did wonder whether this I thought would be good if I wanted to do it with the sound changes applied, but I'm probably just gonna do it based on the Mandarin. Maybe with a little bit less of the finer sound changes. So gong is easy. That can just be, can it just be gong? I'm trying to remember if, I'm sure that there was at least one way to get O. And O does exist in the modern language, but usually unstressed. And then I'm like, I think if there was a nasal right before a z, which this is actually pronounced as t, so I think it might end up being gonzi. Gonzi? It's gonzi? I think that sounds right. And then mo is probably just going to end up being mo. So the funny thing is with this is that we know this is a surname. So clearly, however this was written originally, it does seem weird because usually you'd expect first name here. But I think because this is classical Chinese, the order is different. Anyway, so Gongzi Mo, And I had wondered about translating prince, but I decided not to. Basically because I didn't know exactly how stratified our like how stratified the society would be and who would be at the top and all of that good stuff. And I didn't want to decide it by myself. I will just go with a thumbnail sized text. I might do white on black, or is that a terrible idea? I don't know whether this font, I'm sure the font does work white on black. I'm going to try it just because. And I will make sure that I share my screen with you. So I think that I would have to stop and then do this. Does this work? Yeah. So I can show off this a bit and my terrible cheap and free Photoshop alternative. So let's go. And then if I'm spelling it the way I imagine it would be done in modern Bokuz, like, so this is where at the moment we only have loanwords from the original language, and we have basically a completely modern script for for everything else, because I could write it with so if this is the N and then this is the N, so if I gong, so that would be Gongzi, and then if I do it underneath, and that would be Gonzi. And I think if you're going for very clear, you would probably use this one, which is probably what I'm going to go with, so I don't worry about it later. And then that would be MOU, but this is Mo. And then I have to stop sharing. And here we go. Okay, so I may in the end just actually share the window. It's not going to like it if I go back onto the StreamYard, but anyway, because it looks like we're at a stage where so I had a look, and I don't think we have lean. I don't think we have any word for stall. We do have a word for big. Like this is a gloss that basically corresponds to this. So 音级, 拍, 习, 西. My tones are all over the place there. But anyway. So yeah, that's what this means. So the other thing is that we don't really have a strong way of doing. We have a way to compare clauses. We have our subjunctive, right? So we can say that X happened relative to Y, but this is like a series of things happening. So honestly, in general, I'm not against just making roots for things, especially if they seem relatively basic. Yeah, I don't want to worry about using a different text editor. But yeah. Ooh, mirror. Just make roots. So, do the people in the studio, also, I'm tempted to just move, if I move this tab to a new window, does this work? Yes, okay, this way I don't have to worry about other stuff. Also, I will zoom in. Probably too much for me, but here we go. Do you have, if you have any forms for any of those words, let me know. But otherwise, I'm just going to use a generator and hope for the best. Because I think that it works for me. And I quite like just kind of taking forms and tweaking them until I like them. These all seem fine. Okay. Momos, Vudzi, Unzi. I like AM. AM is a good form. Okay. Unzi, I'm fine with. So maybe I should leave her alone. I'm not a huge fan of the other ones. Momos I'm gonna just delete. And Uzi. So when you make a verb, you end up adding these to it. So it goes ayam. Oh, I should have guessed this. Ayense, ayambov, ayamos. Which lines up with what I was expecting. Do I have anything else to say? I like the mos. I don't think that we have a good verb like this yet, which means should it be lean or breathe? Oh, I like hiek. Hiek as well. This is a very fun form. So let's do this one and have a look. Hiek, hietse, hiebov, hiegos. So yeah, this is, again, it's got this G that pops out in here. It would mean hiek is the noun form. Okay. So yeah, hiek would be a os verb. I don't know how I would define aime or am. I think am would be maybe a new verb type. So am hiek. Am hiek. Like Let's find a word for stool. Yup. Bevube uvo. Another ayame yam ruby. Bzboo. Bzboo looks like something that shouldn't be allowed. And I'm slightly worried that means sound changes are coming. Or that we have super rare instances of a syllabic fricative. But yeah, I can see how it happened. Bzbui, bzboo, bzboo. Yeah. So this would happen. Let's see. So the form is this biabu one. So miabu and kiabu and pia. Bu, yabu. So yeah. Okay, so these are becoming the vowel is different, but the consonant thing is not all that different. So when it's a nasal, it doesn't matter. When it's a velar, it doesn't matter because it goes to the sibilant anyway because of the kind of palatalization that wasn't really palatalization. This is zb, and this is zb. I'm sure. I'm sure that I don't mind bzboo. I think bzboo is it's kind of iconic. The thing that I'm not sure about is is like that then comes with the seat thing. Should that like should this mean seat? And is that a root? And if it's a root, like should it be like we could make it mean something else originally? And then I guess I'm thinking like if you're sitting in a cold climate, you probably do want to be raised off of the floor. It would probably end up as Bosbu, Jonathan, I think. The thing is, I don't think that the structure violates the rules we have because we allow bz and we allow zb. It's just strange. Yeah. So I was thinking that, Miles. It's so it just means that So ki bo ya bzbu bzvuce bzbubov bzbu. Oh my god. Oh no, they're all bzvuce. It's because this gets reduced in these syllables. Bzbooze. Is David here yet? Okay. No, David. I mean, I know they're in Missouri. So, did you decide whether you would? How different this lexicon looks? This is the same one, isn't it? How do I change it to dark theme if I do want to? Anyway, I think it copies your regular settings. Okay, I'm gonna put these in here. So this is to, well, let me check we don't have sit already. No, we do have to sit. We do have to sit. So the sit zero derivation path isn't gonna work, Miles. But I use this. Oh no, I have. Why do I have dark mode on my regular one and light mode on this one? Anyway. Okay. I think the sit was going to become chair or stool. I wonder if there's like I guess it could be like perch. Like we use that, like I guess it's kind of like casual, but is casual the right word, or just it's kind of colloquial to describe like a perch that you kind of sit on. Yeah, okay. So this is not going to be to sit. This will be to perch. I'm like a bird, I want to fly away. So that solved that one. I was hoping that people in chat would decide the here's versus the Hiek versus AM. Breathe and lean. AM. Hiek to me feels the he bit really I guess we haven't said that it's palatalized, so it should be like hiek, rather than hiek. But I get the sense of the breathing out, whereas AM, I don't get that. So maybe higa should be breathe and AM to lean. Let's go with that. And also I need to make sure that I haven't doubled these. No. Okay. I mean, the thing is, I feel like I've done so much work that I kind of know what's in here and what isn't from, I don't know, just doing stuff. So this will be to lean. Although this is, if I go back to here, this yin, I think it does specifically. No, this is leant forward on stool, leaned against the lower table. So I'm gonna say, yeah, I'll just go with lean. It gives me the best chance of being right. And what was the last one? Higa. Is to breathe. So one thing that has been on my mind has been that we don't have these kind of forms that let you very clearly kind of do things in sequence. Okay. Oh, I didn't even have the Bokuz doc open. Bokuz. I took the tabs away for the other one. I'm going to do this in my private time, the adding stuff to the dictionary. But I'm going to make sure that I document things properly. So Bzbu, and that's from Biabu. And this now means stool, or kind of like, I think I think that makes sense. It's specifically like that it's not one that you would relax in. So it's like is a stool just a backless chair? Is that what the definition of a stool is? Or am I making this up? Do, do, do. So specifically without armrests, and then some people say without back or armrests. So I think that this makes sense. And it could be this, we have this low table versus stool interpretation. I'm tempted to say that low table is what we assume this meant. But I like this lean forward on the stool thing. Stool. I'll just call it a stool. I don't know why I'm bothering so much. I think I always get slightly paranoid when I do these things. So, 公之某杂, sorry, 公之某杂, bzbu, and then I need the articles. And I could have just gone straight to the locative. So this would be zabe. So gongzi mo non stool look. And then I want to lean in the third person, amos. And I am I don't think that this is considered a serial verb construction. If I say that you can do this, and then we have our word for big, I'm sure. Maybe tung, tung, chung, and then it would be he goes. Big, he breathes. And I think with a comma there, I think this all works okay. And this is calquing the structure of the Chinese a lot, to be fair. But I think that that's kind of... I mean, the other question would be whether Tsung makes sense here for... because you can see in English we have long breath, deep breath. So, I mean, if you have ideas of what kind of breath people should take, I'm curious. I'm curious what people think. I'm going to leave big in there for now, and keep going. so 阳天而小约 so yeah so in English we say look up and then at the skies and laughed. So yang, it does all of that in Mandarin, and I don't want. Well, this is in classical Chinese. Sorry, I don't actually know that it works like that in Mandarin still. So either oh, I think that part of this is just the word order is different in Bokuz. So you would probably say something more like sky locative look he looks, he laughs. Does that sound right? But there's also this say laughing. So we have this idea in our notes for an imperfective, which basically comes out as eh. The issue that we have with it is because it doesn't start with a consonant, you would end up having to I mean, to be fair, we already have in some cases a situation where bu will eat a coda consonant, which I wasn't expecting, but is kind of how the system seems to want to work. And I don't hate that. It saves us syllables. But that would end up something like laugh imperfect, he says. Which I think makes sense. Tall breath. Tall is a fun one, and I think we have it, so I might go for it. So tall. Oh, this is a funny one because it would also be high. Ha. It just comes out as ha. So, and then I'm like, do we have sky? No. So we go back to the list of forms. Pago going to gi is kind of iconic. Because this looks like the kind of form that would be fine. I mean, I know why. It's because the A is goes to schwa. I think in gestu, this would be ko. Gwak, vuni, guha, guge, gvefi. I like gi. I think it's nice that it's short. I am curious. Okay, no one's saying anything. Tell me if you like gi for sky or not. Pagot isn't the kind of word that I think I would have come up with for sky, I will say. So I might leave it there and generate some new forms and see if I find anything I like more. Now, do I want to keep these around? I'm tempted just to take a screenshot, if I'm being honest. Or I guess I've already made this a video. So I can just go back and look, or this wasn't that hard to do. I don't know. Or I can just leave it all in here and scroll down all the time, or put the stuff at the top. I'm just gonna put the stuff I like. Oh, there was this form, Zhuangzi. Zhuangzi. I'm not sure if I love it. Okay, we're going with Geet. We're going with Geet. So, Pago, and this means sky, and I can also note it here. So Ki from Pago, sky. So there's also this thing with, I feel like saying heaven is a bit cosmological. I'm gonna leave it for now. Oh, also this should have been Zabengeyemos. Zabe. Now, look, I'm fairly sure we have. I'm curious if it's in here. No. Look, me back to look at, which I think makes sense. So, mi baya, mibos, perfect. So he looks now. This let me go back and have a look. So I don't know how to feel about this imperfect thing, because adding the at the end is gonna do not a lot. Well, no, it will either do a lot or not a lot. And if you add a yeah to it, then it's gonna end up looking really similar to the third person. Unless you did it that the air took the stress, which I think would be kind of silly. Which we could do he looks, he laughs, he says, but I don't really love that. I'm going to look in my World Lexicon of Grammaticalization quickly and see if I can find what I'm thinking of, which I think is manner, which is usually with a commentative or instrumental, neither of which we have. However, what we do have is a locative that we have been using for a lot of things. You say it's Miles? Miles says the E imperfective is somewhat small. The question is, when does it apply? Because I think that it would produce some very odd results. And yeah, I'm working from the Chinese. I guess so this one suggests that you could just use the 3 verbs in a row, which actually is kind of a translation that you would expect from this. So I may just use that for now, and we can focus on. I don't think this is worth worrying about that big grammar point right now. So, and I know those are all in the roots are all documented, so I will worry about that later. I see you saying that it's odd, Miles. I think that it's odd, especially because of the other ones allow for more interesting patterns of collapse, and I don't know quite what we do with the O's. I don't love the V. I would consider puhi. Although this is for laugh, so I feel like maybe, well, I mean, there's nothing about xiao that really suggests laughter these days. Who is there any? Is this a time for a reference? This might be a time for a reference. I don't know the Simpsons references. The problem with this language, though, is that it's really hard to get things to look like what you're going for. Like, if I wanted to, why can't I think of her surname? Yeah, that's not the person I was thinking of. I'm glad I checked that in my secret tab. Oh, Gilroy, I think is the person who I'm thinking of. So Gilroy, the problem with it is that it has this RL thing, LR thing in the middle, and then the oi we can do. So we could do Yiwoi, and then Yiwoi, Zigve, Zigve. I think if I Zigov, and then Ki o yeah, Zigotse, Zigobov, Zigos. It's just not that interesting. I'm glad that the V disappears. And it does mean that the nominal form is a little bit more differentiated. I guess the question that I have is, oh, it does get us the O there. Whereas if I go to this, it's all just going to go to, yeah. So I think I might just go with this Zigov. I'm trying to work out if I can tell what it would be in Bokuz, and I can't. So I'm going to figure that out later. Also, I should have checked. We already have to laugh. We already have to laugh. I really should check more. And I am doing exactly what happened with Miles, which means that I might just make it something else, like to either, I'm thinking a different kind of laughing, or making it a word for to tell a joke, to joke, or to kid, which I think is fine. We'll go with chortle. Chortle is a great word. To chortle. Heavily. We'll go with. How would you say tooly? Laugh big. And we'll go with pa. Will be to chuckle, to laugh, small. But I think that this is more of a pa situation. So let's work out what that comes to. Is it? It's pa. Pa. Yeah. Pe payas. Nice. Mibos. Payas. Now check in here for to say yes, we have it. Subas. Subaz. So we have an os verb, we have an es verb, which is because of the y. So I'm going to say note that Pa produces a yes verb, whereas subaz, I'm assuming that if you put in helpa, it's just going to come out as suba. Yes. So this is a regular verb. So one thing is that you would expect the object to follow, and that's why there's a colon here, but also that's the regular order of both Mandarin and classical Chinese. So for us, we would expect the thing that you're saying to come forward, which I often in relay translations, and I realize we're an hour in and I haven't even got to the bit with the frogs in. So I think I'm gonna go to the grammar. I wanna put direct. No. I want where are the what do you call them? Demonstratives. I know they're here somewhere. Numbers, comparison, here we go. So I think it would be this thing, so it would be gwudza. That didn't have to be that hard. So prox. Oh no, that is in the nominative, whereas I need it in the accusative, where it's kugve. Prox and accusative sing. Okay. 子赌博玩佛看见之瓦乎? No, this is where the frogs come in, and also we've got a rhetorical question. I don't think that we're going to do specific markers for rhetorical questions, but I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. So have you not heard of the frog of the... So you is still the... I think there are a situation for questions, which I'm going to open the grammar and go to questions. And yes, you can use the subjunctive to produce. Oh no, was this all in the. Was this supposed to be in the past tense or the. I've done this all in the present tense. I'm not going to go back and change that now. But it's wrong. Bye, Maddie. So, first of all, I need to check to here, which doesn't appear to exist yet, which is kind of what I would have expected. So, Wuvong is a nice form. There's a lot of these that I also yepi I enjoy as well. So Puhi I don't mind. I like my yep. I think it might already exist, but I'm not 100% sure. I should have been more decisive on that. Boogie, I think, probably already exists in some other form. Yes, something really close to this already exists as the word to eat. Ook already exists. This exact form I know already exists. Yegev, again, is a cool form. I'm worried it already does something. Which, if I'm going to delete those. Move up it a bit too long. But then we're at the ones that I actually like. Bouvet, no. But either way, if I reduce this, it will go to ngove, I think. Which I don't mind. Ngove. But I feel like I'm mixing up all of my stress and tone stuff. I don't love it though, so I'm gonna Zigev Uvong. And it reminds me of Ocean Wong, which I think is not a bad mental association. I think I did too many. Yeah. Oh. Key. It's a bit long. Uvongutse. And it's going to get even longer when we add the what do you call it? The past tense. Nice chat in the chat. Historical present, fun. Let me check. So, uvongutse, and then I want the. So be uvonguma. No, not that. I can go to the past subjunctive. So it'll be uvongubukuzok. No, that's to someone else. Uvongubukuz. Bokuz. Bokuz is fine. And the other ones are supposed to be long. So I'm just gonna go with it. So I'm gonna put the form in here, just to here. Okay, and there's no listen either, so that's not a doubling up at all. Beautiful. So uvo mu. Bokuz? No, is it? It's not Bokuz. 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 Uvongo Bokuz. Oh, and I said I was going to type this up as I went along, and I have not been doing that. So have you, and then negation, I know we just did. So it looks like, I thought we had finished. It looks like we just throw this ni in, and that kind of does it for us. But it's an interesting one here because when we translate it, we probably end up needing to say something like have, like, you had, you never heard, because we don't have a perfect. So it will be something like, you never heard nothing of the, you never heard nothing of the story of the frog. You never heard nothing of the story of the frog in the sunken well. Now, never, I'm not sure how we're going to do. And I'll ask you now, because is working out how to say never something that people are interested in, or is it something to pretend never happened and say you haven't heard of the story of the frog in the well? Actually, in the original Chinese, there's no never. So you, so I heard, you heard, you didn't hear nothing. It feels really dialectal as a adjective feels wrong. But anyway. So the nothing here would be this nive thing. So story, I derived from the noun form of to tell in gesto, which is probably what I'm going to do now. The nice thing is that this can be kind of like a shared strategy, at least. Muzvu. Oh, sorry, muzvu. Muzvu. So copy. So the story is from Muyao to tell. Like gesto. So this is muzvu, and then I need the genitive. Oh, it's third person genitive. So that means I'm just flicking through all of those. It just attaches here, and it's muzvup. Which feels very light, but I think it's better than muzvupani. So, story of the frog. So, frog already exists. And I'm going to go down here to two frogs. Bibze. Beautiful. Which means it will be bibze. So, this is the story of the frog. And then it's well and the sunken well. But the way that they say this in the Chinese, which is this kan jing 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 jing. No, there's Sandy there. I think it becomes kan jing. George can tell me if I was anywhere close. Okay, Miles has made a word for well. So, and go back here. It's this, the store water. Semuv, right? Yeah, that's what this will come out with. So, semuv zabe. So, and then it's the sunken or dilapidated. And now, I guess there's kind of the question of, so if you have a form, that's not what I wanted, but anyway, and it comes from another form, and this would be to sink. And then this would be something like sinking, but and then or sunkenness. Then that would work, I think. And I think I like that. I'm gonna see what. Okay, I got the Sandy right. I don't think I said it right. Oh yeah. Also, it's this is written before Middle Chinese by like a few hundred years, so it's like trying to correct current English pronunciation for whatever. Is that no? Victorians is even more recent than that. Anyway, for people 300 years ago, like no one would say that the English would sound quite like what we do now. Anyway, I think I'm just gonna go with this because I want to get stuff done, which is basically the feeling I end up getting when I worry about things like this too much. Yepki, yepgef, mayep, puhi, divos. It's definitely not going to be ooze. Yabuve is too. Those are all too long, so I'm going to delete them. I do like hua. What does hua come out on its own? Huv. I don't mind that. Oh, we have full. We definitely have full. I think we have multiple words to full. And we have to dip. So, but I get the impression that the idea is that the thing is kind of deeper into the ground. I don't know why I'm doing it like this. Meh. So meh. See, this is the where you run into problems. Is that meh comes out just as z. And there are sound changes that back this up. It means that a root like this becomes very annoying to, yeah, because it becomes nze and then nze, nze, ze, ze, ze. So some of these shorter roots, they kind of don't end up working very well. Wawa, I think, is also going to be one of these words that gets super reduced. Oh, nguva. So I'm imagining like a the thing is, I guess all wells are dug. So I don't know. I kind of just want to make a word for sink because I think it will be nice. And I liked the translation because like if I really wanted to be close, like if I was doing a relay, I would just do we have a word for hole? We may actually have a word for hole. No, we don't have a word for hole. That surprises me. I'm gonna. Oh, we do have a word for lowness or depression. And I did mean this in the physical sense. So I think that that could work. So what does gegu come out as? Gi. And then if I put in me gegu, zogi. I don't hate this. Zogi. I'm gonna go with that. So it's sunk and it's low. No, full low is low. I'm gonna quickly check here if zogi already exists, but it doesn't. So it would be quite funny to have depression and sky be homophones. Okay, so this is zogi, and it's from. And I usually write it with the tone in, and this would be 4. And then this was gegu, low, and this means I think that this would be a fine word that just means, because we know it means the low one essentially, and also then depression. I think this all makes sense. So let's go with it. Even if it doesn't, this particularly in my mind makes sense for depression or the idea of something that has kind of collapsed, which also works in this dilapidated sense. So I'm let's go with this. So zogi and I'm going to write it with a full stop. I'm going to try and get the last one done. Let me remind myself, though, quickly on the questions front. Oh, okay. So I don't know why I always tell Jonathan. It's not fronting Miles. It's just the word order is the opposite. We may want a question mark type character if the fronting is when you move something forward for effect. Like you wouldn't say that I in the phrase "I love you" is fronted. It's just where it goes. Okay, so 저기 samozabe pizza mudzupnive uvongu Bokuz. Oh, this is the wrong ending. It would be I want the U ending. Past subjective Bukubov. And because of this fronting thing, I'm going to go and write the pronoun in. So that would be boof. Boof zogi samov zabe pidzep muzup nive uvongu kubov. Okay. So, and he said to the, I don't want to carry it on. So, have we done indirect? Well, this is a direct object in both languages anyway, I think. I think that we would end up just having a double object construction and using word order to differentiate them. But I don't remember. Oh, we had said that there could be a post position, but I don't want to make that now. So, so he said, and he here is the frog, but I will go with za, tortoise. So we have a word for turtle, which is gvonu. And I think that I've looked at that example a million times. I will double check because it's from, gvonu, zagvonu. So of the east. Cardinal directions aren't what I thought I was going to be making today. And I really don't know how much I want to get into them. So, I'm tempted to just kind of draw on a common trope or something. It's of the Eastern Ocean, which we would have an Eastern Ocean, but it would be really far over the mountains. So I'm going to call it the Far Ocean. So to the and I'll call it a turtle for American viewers, and also because I don't want to make it with a tortoise. To the turtle of the far ocean. Because the north and south is near, and the west is near as well, but the other one is far, and we have a word for far. Which is from ma. Yeah. Crazy. The things this language does sometimes. Crazy. So it would be nya. No. Yeah, we do have a word for ocean or sea. Yeah, kuz. So it'd be nyakuz pagwonu. He fra ocean. Genitive. Total vonove. Say we already have. So subas, but we're doing this in the past, but it's regular, so it would be suba, and then the past tense, I can't actually remember, so I'm gonna do past indicative, guz. Yeah. Suba guz. And this is actually going to be, if I wanted to include the this again, making me doubt that choice. Or I just remember that we want a postposition. Okay, and I'm just gonna put the kugve in. And I'm sure if I check the chat, everyone's just loving nya. Mi pan, sum sum sum, yum yum yum. I find it funny that that was in Russian. I'm happy. Sorry. So it can be. The thing is, it would be easy to do it as a question. So, I don't know. I don't think we ever made how when we did the question words. Content questions. Oh no, we did. We did. So we could do a calc of the English, but I don't really love that. I'll come back to look at that later. Next question is, do we have a word for happy? No. So I'm gonna clean up this a bit. Do I want puhi? No. Mayep. I don't know. Yippee sounds really close to yippee. Yes, Miles, it is in Russian. It's based on an original advert for something like, I want to say it's like a honey cereal or something. Okay, we'll go with yippee. Right the way. So happiness, the happy one. So it would be or would it be I? So and then I guess it would be that you would put the copula into the subjunctive. Copula, I wanna be copula. Mu. So this is in the present. So mumatse. Si yepki mumatse. I think that works. Although it kind of expresses that that's actually not the case. The moose vopus. I am. That could actually be the distinction, Miles. That could be the distinction, because with moose is the one that they're the same, right? So equitive. So to say I am happy in a regular way, then you would say you would use the vopuz one. I think it would come out as vopso or something, wouldn't it? Vopu. Vopumatse. So yepi vopumatse. Also, I do have to use the. I need to use the marker with yepi. So yepi. So you use the. This is with the locative. But the thing is that we have. No, it's for. I guess I'm thinking of this like. It would be like. It's kind of in the soy feliz versus estoy. Well, no, you would. No, you. I think you can. Mocatriz, modelo, cantante y actriz. Basically, the idea would be that so it would be yepi ve mumatse. And this would be kind of like saying I am happiness, as in myself and happiness are the same, rather than yepi vopumate, which would be I am happy in the sense of I am one of the happy ones. Which is actually, I think, a cool distinction to make. Okay, bye, Miles. And I am now going to. What's the best way for me to do this? So, actually, the subjunctive wouldn't be used if you're not questioning it. Well, the subjunctive is a funny one. I think I'm using it how I might use it in Spanish, which actually, when you would, if you said sea feliz, it sounds like you are asking someone to be happy. Yes, I know. I'm thinking about the best way to do orthography. While I get the orthography setup going, so that, like, I guess the other thing I could say is, do you want to see the both at the same time, or do you want me to just type it from the ether? I think I probably want to have both up at the same time. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do this. I will. Can I hide this? I can hide it a little bit more. I'm just going to make the font size smaller. Although I don't know if that's going to help people at home. But anyway. 100. Okay. So I think if I stop sharing and then I need to share screen and I'm going to have to share entire window and then drop that down. And now it's going to be annoying if I want to check comments. I could have just got this up on my phone. I'm just going to go for it. Okay. So we've got the name in. So za bu zabeng. I guess this all right? I mean, I can't check. I can check briefly. I'll check briefly. Okay, no one said anything. Oh, is that the whole thing? Okay. I'm going to zoom out on this as well. Sorry, everyone. Okay. Dubbing AMOs, comma, ha ciegos, comma, gi zabe mibos payes. So based on the other one, it looks like I would say put a comma there. Kugle subas. Da-da. Zabe mibos. You'd expect the commas there as well. Okay, subas. So buv zogi semov zabe pib zep muzvup ni ve uvong bu kubov. Zanya kuz pa. Now, did that write everything? Oh, I just got further than I thought. Zaznia. Zaznia guz pa. So gvonu comes from a root which is gua nu. So I think I have to spell it GB. Well, actually, the O, I think was it an O at that point? Or was it an. Anyway, I'm going to spell it Banu. No, I think there was a vowel there. I'll come back to that. Bonu ve kug ve subakuz. Si. Yep. Yi. Ve mu mata. And that's as far as we got. Although I might put a gap in these sections. There are, I think, gaps in the. So, I can't remember what the other one is. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay. So, I want to stop sharing everything. I'm going to save this. Frog and turtle. And I'm gonna go back to, yeah. Okay. Shall I show you it bigger? Too big. Too big. Okay, this is what it will look like that. Ooh. Even though I'm not looking at the document now, I can see my mouse on top of it. That's exciting. Okay. I think that went well. I think me and Miles, and I'll make a note of this. We need to more rigidly define the use of the subjunctive. I think you're right that it should be in the indicative. So it would just be final te. Mu So, lovely. Oh, I was wondering why no one was saying goodbye, but I just realized that I hadn't said goodbye. So I had started saying I hope everyone enjoyed it, and I think this was quite successful. Certainly, I've got lots of words to add to Gestu as well. And speaking of adding words, in the next month, Let's Have a Bouba is going to be doing shorts for Luxembourg. It's going to be maybe more video editing in such a short period of time than I've ever had to do before. So we'll see how that goes, but I'm excited. So, bye-bye, everyone.